the Iraq and such.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the speed debates, a semi-annual tradition or something like that at LASCON. We've been doing it for years. These are our esteemed panelists. We'll introduce them in a minute, but I want to explain what speed debates are and what they're not, more importantly. They are not a highly academic, I want to debate whatever. I was in the debate club in high school, and we have pros and for and against, and no. It's casual, have fun. Let's talk about AppSec. All right, so please don't take this too seriously. The comments of the participants may or may not represent their real feelings. They're going to be arguing towards a point that I will make. And the way we're going to work this, since we have a kind of larger group than usual this year, is they will. You guys can pick. I don't really care who goes first. I will do there will be one team that will be in the affirmative and one team in the negative, and the affirmative team will go first and explain why the point is correct, or then the other team will oppose that position. It's 2 minutes each. And then each team gets to pick one person amongst their team to do a 1 minute rebuttal. Okay, so it'll be for, against, 1 minute rebuttal, 1 minute rebuttal. All right? And we'll just start, since you guys have the mics, you'll be our first participants, all right?
That sounds wonderful to me.
That does sound wonderful. And after we have the for and against arguments, I have a high-tech applause-ometer by the name of David Hughes.
Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. He will be our high-tech applause-ometer, and you will get to vote with your applause who wins which point. All right? And we should probably plant an app for that. Whatever. No.
This is mobile security.
My applause-ometer has left the building. Oh, well, it's okay. We'll press on. Yes. All right.
You already skipped a question.
Well, there's a well, okay. This is really just for you.
Oh, no, I'm not playing.
The single biggest problem in security is the end user? No. No, that's a bait question.
I like it. Get it.
No. This is the real question.
I'll do this.
This is where, well,
You can pick your talks. How about that?
you can pick your talks. There are no real rules. I don't have any.
Yes.
You want me? Let the ladies. Okay.
Say the question, then we can take these.
Well, someone should be affirmative and negative, correct?
Okay, you guys pick who's going to be negative and positive after he reads the question, okay?
That works. Yeah, let's do that. That's cool. Okay, the question is, big data is the next security snake oil. So one side has to be affirmative to that, i.e. it is the next snake oil, and the other has to defend that it is not snake oil. So who would like this side of the room to be on the affirmative? Okay, and who would like this side of the room to be on the affirmative? It looks like you guys are the affirmative.
Applause-ometer. Can we get the official call?
Hardly required. All right, so who's going first for this side? You want to go first?
So we are negative.
You believe that big data is the next security snake oil.
I think that was the opposite. They were the affirmative.
Affirmative goes first.
Okay.
Who votes for a new moderator?
Who's running this thing exactly?
Who votes for a beer for the moderator? So, I'm sorry, I got lost track. Okay, it's late in the day. So you're the affirmative. Big data is the next security snake oil. Who wants to take that for team this side? We should really give you guys names. Team Josh. Come on, somebody grow up and stand up and take the mic.
How about go team?
So, I have gray hair for a reason. I've been writing code for about 20 years now. And what you call big data today, we call data warehousing and many other names. This is more of the same BS with a different name, different color, different marketing wrapper, and unfortunately a different price tag because the promises are even bigger because you gotta keep promising higher with each new generation of technology. So it's not the big data, it's what you do with that data, which is the same problem we've had since the beginning of organized data type machines. So this is more of the same in a different wrapper.
Nowhere near the 2 minutes, but that's cool. Can I follow up?
Yeah, you still have time. It's a team game.
Yeah, you got time.
Don't get out your no cards yet. Come on, man.
Big garbage.
Done. Okay. Well, that was succinct.
Before my esteemed colleague here decides to explain why it is an issue, I'd like to just say that while everybody thinks that they can say, oh, it's not about the size, all of you know that's a fucking lie. Please go ahead.
All right, let me lay some beats about Heavy D. Heavy D is pretty awesome. It allows you to take a bunch of disparate data sources and actually sort through it. It actually gives you a chance and a hope of actually knowing what the hell is going on in your enterprise. And there's some pretty cool things that the bad guys are doing with big data, and if you aren't doing those things, they will beat you to the exploit. So I'll actually be talking about it a little bit tomorrow, but the point is, come and see me. No. The point is, if you aren't doing big data analysis of even your own enterprise, what you got, discovery scans basically, and identifying that you have vulnerabilities, you're effectively just leaving yourself wide open to attack. So yes, it is how you use it for sure, because if you just log everything and just throw it in a data warehouse and never touch it, that's not going to help you. So it is a job creator, but it is the kind of job that actually does give you real value.
We got a 1-minute rebuttal.
At the end of the day, what they're trying to sell you is snake oil. Big data is not a new concept. There's absolutely nothing new about big data. As Jim said, these were mainframes back in the day. They're big databases. It's nothing more than that. So while Robert says that you can run some fancy schmancy analytics over it, that's not big data. They're trying to sell you bigger hard drives, bigger databases, things like that. It's not any different than what we've been doing for 20 years. They're just slapping a new marketing term on it.
And so when we're doing data warehousing, this is building very scalable, denormalized giant databases to handle data from all these disparate systems. We would write code and slurping engines to grab data from different data sources, even non-commoditized data sources. Back 20 years ago, a lot of our network layer software was custom built actually, so no commoditized tool could easily absorb and put it into our data warehouse. We would use proper database creation technology. We'd build the stuff by hand with proper denormalization in place. We'd write the code to pull data from these different sources and then build applications to retrieve this data in a variety of different ways. So
Time.
do you have a time? Where's your time card? Time card?
No surprise, I have to cut Jim off.
Hey Chris, it's not the size of the data, it's how you make it work.
I'm sure that's what your wife tells you, honey. Have her come over, I'll prove it.
Rebuttal beyond that?
We start.
You get a 1-minute rebuttal of their
Tell me
rebuttal. Well, you done? Or?
Tell me when. I'm ready.
When? Go now. You're good.
All right. I don't know how many of you understood the blathering, ridiculous technical commentary that was going on over there, but I run an enterprise. I need things to be there for me, and they need to be available for me. I don't have a staff of people that I can just go out at any point in time and say, hey, rebuild the wheel for me. I know that you need to do scripts and munging, and you have a bunch of database administration. We don't have that. I don't have those resources. Maybe you guys work in companies where you have so many resources that you can just afford to have those type of people. But what big data does is it allows you to centralize the ability to get a single pane of glass and view what's actually going on without having to spend money on those resources. I'm sorry that you guys still live in the 50s and 60s. I'm sorry that you are so attached to your AS400s and databases, and I'm sorry that you feel you need to stand up because you're this wrong.
I can't believe you actually can say that with a straight face with that plaid shirt on. So, number one, the last time, Nickerson, the last time I got a big data demo, you know how I duplicated it? In this piece of software called Excel. So big data, that, buddy, in the plaid shirt.
Okay. That's it. We've handled big data now. Now it's time for you guys to vote. I need my official applausometer. Thank you, sir.
You look so proud.
Who thinks that this side of the room won the vote? Or won the debate? Bloody hell. And who thinks this side of the room won the debate? Oh, score one for this side.
Wah, wah, put it on your card.
All right, now you guys are the affirmative and you are the negative.
Oh, it just switches.
We'll just switch because it's easy for me.
That's what really matters.
Yeah.
So they're in the negative, affirmative.
You would not believe how much time I spent sorting these cards.
I'm changing my job to like big data pre-sales. Suckers.
All right, our next position statement or what have you for this debate. SSL and the heart-bleeding poodle. We must retire older versions of SSL, TLS, and impose security Darwinism on older clients. You guys are for security Darwinism on older SSL clients, and you guys are against. Woo. Can you read slower or use smaller words? Oh, come on, Jim, it's because I love you. No, did you need to reread it, literally? Okay, yeah. We must retire older versions of SSL/TLS and impose security Darwinism on older clients. You disagree with that statement. They agree with that statement.
I'm not leaving.
You gotta talk somebody.
All right. You look handsome in that plaid shirt.
All right, who's going for the affirmative on this side? Apparently Jim Manico.
There is a reason why the HTTP2 standard, which was solidified yesterday pretty much, is only supporting TLS 1.2. They have deprecated SSL 3, TLS 0, and TLS 1 because they're all broken. Let's not even talk about the perversion of nature that is SSL 1 and 2. And this is a WISE body, a WISE standard body. Pretty much every vendor on the planet is there making this agreement. And again, HTTP2 only supports TLS 1.2 for a reason. All jokes aside, that's the truth.
Woo. Nicely done in under 2 minutes. You guys have a few more seconds if you want to keep rolling, or do you want to hand over
What
the
he
reins?
said.
What he said. Hey,
This guy.
This guy.
Who wants to start?
Who wants to start the rebuttal?
I'll start.
All right,
It's all
so do you know how many of your users you just kicked off your website? And those users are giving you money, which pays your paycheck, Mr. Manico. Mr. Manico.
That's what HTTP
With no explanation
1.1.
whatsoever, they logged onto your website and said, hey, I'm trying to give you my money because I want this thing of yours that you have, and you just can't even get on your website now because I use IE6, and I like IE6. I know how IE6 works, and I can't get off of it because I'm in China and whatever reason, right? Okay, or I'm in the enterprise.
Yeah, so your idyllic version of Darwinism, how it works out there, it's not reality. It would be awesome if we could just say, oh yeah, anything that's a little vulnerable, we'll just shoot it. Take it out to the shed, just shoot it, but that's not how it works. It's totally impractical. So that's your side of the debate. Kill users. Good idea. That's great. That's really going to endear us to the development community. That's awesome. Awesome way forward, guys. Super idea.
Since we have some more time, I'm going to just say that Chris earlier today in his keynote talked about how we have to embrace the users. We have to make them feel like they're special, like they matter. And I took that to heart. And because I took that to heart, I really feel like we just can't kill off these protocols like that. We have to socialize this with the users. We have to talk with them about the ramifications and things like that. And then maybe someday down the road when everybody agrees on this, then we can kill it off. But right now, today, no, we can't do that. Thanks, Chris. Thank you for changing. Thank you. 1 minute rebuttal?
So I want to point out your straw man argument. We never said anything about killing anybody. So now you're trying to change the focus away from the subject at hand. So we're talking about Darwinism, which is evolution, survival of the fittest, not execution. So the users will police themselves. The strong ones will connect to the websites. They will help other people, just like he said in his talk. That they will share and educate each other, and they will upgrade themselves and be fine.
And gentlemen, there's this other thing called browser supporting multiple protocols. For you IE6 folks stuck in that world, you can live in the world of HTTP 1.1 and all the problems that come with it. For those of us who want
Just because your company makes a secure browser, and just because you want to try and push that secure browser out to people by playing the other side, it does not mean that you're wrong.
That's how you know they're losing.
Rebuttal?
I mean, you said it's a straw man argument. So if it were indeed a straw man argument, you would say that there's nothing actually life critical that goes over SSL. Oh, I don't know, like healthcare information or like MRI machines or political dissidents who need to be able to communicate over secure protocols and who can't update for whatever reason. There's all kinds of reasons, possibly because they're in a country who might actually give them malware instead of the update that they want. So yeah, I mean, you could say that there's no life at risk, and then you'd say that cryptography is not actually useful. Thank you.
And you said it's evolution, right? It's not killing the users, it's evolution. Well, when has evolution ever happened in a single generation? Okay, like we're gonna have some seriously old folks here that are using small browsers, and hey, it sounds to me still like killing, right?
Look. The reality is SSL 3. Oh,
Hey, let's be honest. Poodle is a bitch, and you have to have man in the middle in order to make it useful anyway. So let's keep the users.
I think we should end on Poodle is a bitch.
Yeah.
Applausometer?
Oh. Mike's the longest, guys. Come on.
All right, who believes that this side won the debate? And this side?
How you like that, Bandic Manico?
Tied 1-1. Huh? We will always beat you.
I just wanted to put down that we had a traitor on our team. And like their team forced a member of their team. Right? Like, let's just be real clear about that. And he was copying most of the fucking copies.
It was a highly effective plant.
They forced it on us almost like an SSL upgrade.
Nice. All right. So now, gosh, I'm behind. You're affirmative and you're negative. Okay? The statement is Docker, containers, and microservices will dramatically increase software security. Docker, containers, and microservices will significantly increase, or dramatically. You believe, this side believes, that Docker, containers, and microservices will dramatically increase software security. Really? Oh, come on.
Okay, I will say one thing, all right? I will say one thing. I think the word dramatically is what's making me stay away from this question, right? But
well, I can cross that out and write something else.
Okay, it might increase software security. Okay, so the one thing that Docker does allow us to do is it does allow companies that could not do the whole Netflix architecture type of thing, which the servers aren't these gentle, fragile servers that you put up on this pedestal and you never touch ever because you know what will happen if you touch it and it's going to go down, right? With Docker, it allows kind of the common folk, if you will, you don't have to have a Netflix-size budget to do this kind of thing. You can make these servers that, okay, I could just kill this thing real quick, spin up a new one, and here you go, and it's provisioned, and it's not this fragile server that only does this one thing and only does this one thing well, right? It becomes really, really easy to make a Docker file, to just spin up, like, okay, here's all my servers, they're behind my load balancer, I have an update to push. Okay, push the update, push a new server, kill a server, push a new server, kill a server, right? This is the kind of thing that really only Netflix has been doing until recently, and now Docker's making it possible for a lot more people.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I don't know about dramatically, but I do think that being able to operationalize security that way, like distribute it across a whole bunch of hosts and capture it in scripts as opposed to having manual hardening procedures for stuff, is really important. It allows security as software, software-based networking, software-based security is, I think, potentially really transformative.
Nice. You have 15 more seconds, and thank you for saving this question, by the way.
We have 50 more seconds.
You get 35 seconds, actually.
Okay. Again, dramatically is probably the wrong word, but there's some pretty cool stuff you can do if you can spin up and spin down servers programmatically. So if you, for instance, know you're under denial of service attack, you can spin up a bunch of servers to sort of handle that load. Or if you think that there's a particular type of attack that's more of like a kind of like a it's trying to identify certain types of attributes about the site. You can sort of shunt that traffic off into its own container. So it's sort of attacking an isolated incident, what am I trying to say? That word that I'm trying to use.
Instance.
You all know that word, incident, whatever. You basically, what's that, incense? No.
Beep, 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 beep.
All right.
That would be your time.
Well, just briefly.
Yeah, finish up.
I actually don't think you're going to vote for us, so but whatever. Yeah. You guys are easily going to win this one, but it's kind of nice because you can kind of shunt people off into the other location, where they're safe, their credentials aren't necessarily shared. It's harder to brute force and get information sharing across. I wouldn't say that's dramatic though. That's just another evolution.
I think the big downside of microservers is they're just not that efficient for the large enterprise. If you have small jobs that you're firing up once in a while in a small business, medium business, that's great. We here live in the world of the enterprise, where we're running servers 24/7 at high CPU utilization, and in those worlds, microservers it just does not work.
You guys have a bit more time left if you'd like to expound.
I actually had a talk here today that was supposed to be about security using Docker and Linux containers, and I dropped it because I had nothing good to say about it.
So counterpoint, obviously.
Wait, rebuttal time. You can rebut yourself, sure.
Yeah, so give me it.
Hi. So look, you're talking about enterprise scalability, right? Or at least that's what you pretend to talk about, even though you're not in a big enterprise. Those of us who are in big enterprises know, based on our experience in computing from the 60s and 70s, that things like, have you ever worked on an RS-9000 before? IBM? Oh, you don't know what that is. Yeah, that's enterprise scalability stuff.
I write software for a living.
Oh, so you have no foundation in this debate whatsoever?
Not even
helpful.
a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
I Twittered something and Googled something, and I'm reading some.
While I appreciate your ignorant information that you're feeding out, I'd like you to know that architecture from the RS-9000 is what these services are built upon, right? Being able to componentize, being able to modernize what's going on in the environment while still staying operational is how enterprises run. That's how the big boys play, okay? You have evolutionary paths. Now, we already understood how evolution works from the last debate, so if you need to refer to that, I'm sure it's recorded. But what you need to understand is that these services provide enterprise scalability at a level that must be attained. Otherwise, if you're trying to componentize the service and go directly to each one of them, you'll never make progress. We're here to support enterprise scalability and progress. Just want to get you back on your team, give you guys a quick win.
I will say that you guys are the users, and so if you have an enterprise that's running whatever platform it is, would you feel safer having your stuff running in collaboration with all the other users on that system, or in an individual Docker container that secures your data from all the other data that every other user on that system is doing? At the end of the day, I would feel safer in the Docker. Just saying.
Ooh, good timing. Swish. Rebuttal? I can't even keep track of who's on what side now. Kevin, hand him a mic.
All right, look, you guys might have things in the enterprise class, but did anybody go to Tricky and Gates' talk? Did you see all the problems that are in Redis and all these microservices? Every time you push a bag out, it's pushing out freaking default SSH keys? Are you kidding me? You think how that's security scales in life by pushing out defaults that are widely known public items? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry that you might not have any security experience and you're worried about the enterprise, but we're here at a security conference trying to figure out how to make things better.
Plus, I don't trust anything that's named after an ugly pair of pants.
Well said. Well said. Well, it's time for the applausometer, please. Our official applausometer.
Whose team is what?
It's part of the shtick. Yes. Yeah, well, I could say the team that had Chris Nickerson on it, but that's not really... How about this side for winning the debate? Oh, my. Well, we might know what happens when I point to this side. Woo! All right. So we're 2-1 now. And moving on to the next question. Who the hell knows?
All I know is Nicholson's losing, I think.
All right, next question. This is a nice short, brief statement.
Is it actually about application security?
No, of course not.
Are you 0 for 3 in that debate? What the hell am I doing up here?
Entertaining. Hello. I can't remember. Who's the affirmative? You were the affirmative? Is this
Yes,
affirmative?
they are now.
Oh, okay. You're affirmative now. So the statement is Edward Snowden is a hero. You're in the affirmative. You're affirmative. And you're negative. So who would like to take the first argument for the affirmative? Oh, yeah.
Limited resources.
You can sit wherever you... Would you think there's like rules going on right now? Come on.
Sure.
So, affirmative.
Are you going or shall I?
All right. This is a hard one, even though this was my idea that I gave you.
This is yes, your idea.
You're affirmative now.
I
Affirmative
know, I'm
now.
trying to frame it. So,
Think of all the people that irritate you and speak for them.
the thing that he did do, regardless of how he did it, is that he opened up the doors to the conversations around surveillance and privacy and data and anonymity that now is creating opportunities for general users to step up and say, what does this all mean for me? So regardless if you disagree with exactly how he did it, I think that there are elements of heroism. Oh God, like rocks coming out of my mouth.
What is that bad taste?
There are positive lessons to glean from that experience that
Way to go, girl.
That I think are.
Power through this. Come on, you can do it.
The boys club up here. And none of you can say anything. So there. So, but we do have opportunities for greater discussions thanks to the work that he did and what he brought to light.
Okay, hand the mic across the aisle. Let's
Do
start
that.
now. So, negative?
Snowden broke like a zillion laws, right? He's a criminal. We have a process.
Probably
for
not a
dealing with-
zillion, by the way. Less than that.
Since when has that been a problem for you? Yeah. There's like a zillion laws, depending on what you count. So, we have process, and we have a system of laws in this country. And if you want to improve things, you don't have to just go apeshit crazy and steal all of our country's secrets and give them out like candy on Halloween. It's right there. Yeah.
Hey, Edward Snowden is a criminal. He broke laws. At the end of the day...
We're not debating if he's a criminal.
No,
We're
no,
debating if he's a hero.
At the
There's
end
a
of the
difference.
day, if you look at the data that he exposed, that data is now in the hands of every single other country around the world that can now see the things that our government was doing to protect its citizens, to protect its military, to protect our country. And so by nature of exposing every single thing that our government is doing, he has put that data in the hands of our enemies, and he has put lives of American citizens, American soldiers, every single person in this room at risk. Edward Snowden is not a hero, he's a criminal, nothing more.
Look, they're untrained musicians. Their 2010 release, even though it's digital download, was an awful, awful album. I don't know where these people learned to play guitar. Snowden, the band, of course, is an indie rock band fronted by musician and songwriter Jordan Jeffries. And I just think it's like there is way better music out there in 2014. Thank you.
So, Manico has firmly established that Edward Snowden is not a guitar hero.
Okay, so
Your turn.
first of all, we're not debating whether or not he's a criminal, he broke laws, so that point is totally squashed over here. What we're debating is whether or not he added value to the conversation around security, which we are all interested in.
No, we're not. We're debating whether he's a hero.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Nickerson adds value to the conversation, but I would say.
That's doubtful.
Okay, fair enough. And then I lost my other point.
Snowden is not a foot-long sandwich.
Edward Snowden didn't add any more value than Snowden the band did. How many of you guys have heard of them? No value.
So, as part of what he uncovered was the government actively spying upon its own citizens, which I believe is unethical, immoral, and illegal. So I don't see anything that he did that was wrong in that regard. That is, to me, the equivalent of a whistleblower.
And we don't have a clear sense of what exactly was leaked. There's lots of speculation, and there's no affirmative reports of exactly what was provided. So, you know, there's a lot of Hollywood stories out there that are making more of this, in my opinion, than there needs to be. But it shines an important light on security, and that's what we have.
I didn't think I would participate, but that sparred my participation. We all know that he worked for the NSA, right? And we all know that the NSA has counterintelligence operations, right? And we all know that the NSA runs games in order to gamify the system, in order to gain a...
The fucking NSA got me! I had it! We know that they're gaming the system so that they can get more control of us. So what better than polarize us against a single common enemy than to gain even a greater level of control? This man's a fucking hero. Because he is the one that took one for the team so that all of the security that they want to provide can actually get there, so that they can see all of our traffic, not just a little bit. They needed to have a common enemy that everybody was like, whoa, so that we could automatically take hold and secure this country.
That just got a little weird for me. But I actually do respect the way that he dealt with the problem. Like, he saw an insurmountable problem in his eyes, and he hacked the system. I mean, he found loopholes in that system that he was able to exploit, and I think everyone in here is doing penetration. Exactly.
Okay. We have time for a rebuttal.
He figured out a way to get out.
So the question on the table is Snowden a hero? And we're going to say no over here, and there's a reason why. Now, did the results of what he did lead to some good in society? Maybe. That's debatable. But the question is he a hero? Let's look what he did. He dumped a bunch of information, got in a plane, ran away as quickly as he could, and went hiding in the mountains somewhere in Russia. I don't remember any story in history where the hero and a mighty warrior runs and hides behind a mountain from his enemies. That's not what a hero is.
And look, they use the term whistleblower. There are whistleblower laws in this country for a reason. There are proper ways that a person can blow the whistle on their government. And Edward Snowden did not follow that.
And do those work?
Absolutely. That's why those laws are there. If you talk to the right people, those laws will have worked. But Snowden instead chose to disclose...
But he tried to go through the proper channels, and he was shot down.
This is like saying when you find an O-Day vulnerability, you should release it to the world because that's going to make life so much better. Right? We don't do that. Responsible disclosure, man.
Okay.
One more thing. We have to go back in history. Think of all the heroes in history. There's only one hero in history that bravely ran away, and that was from Monty Python. Monty bravely ran away. That does not fit the hero's story.
Every hero in history broke laws. Every hero. Everyone broke the law.
Not Gandhi.
Oh, wait, which ones got exiled? Oh, ooh. History's hard, isn't it?
Dalai Lama ran away.
You do this so well, David. All right, who believes this side of the room won the debate? And those who have mercy in their hearts, please vote for this side.
Those are the real patriots.
Yeah, that was interesting. That actually does not turn out how I
I hope you all can live with
That
yourselves.
motherfucker's a traitor. He should be shot. I would pull the fucking trigger if he was here.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, that's how I feel.
I figured as much. All right. Whew. I don't even remember who's in the affirmative, or let's see. Okay. You guys are in the affirmative. Well, wait till I read the thing. You might get one. Oh, there we go. You've got one now. All right. For the affirmative, signature-based security, AV, WAF, IDS, is dead and should be ripped out and replaced. Affirmative. Signature-based security, specific, I did say signature-based. Hey, you got a softball last time. Let me be, come on. Signature-based security, AV, WAF, IDS is dead and should be ripped out and replaced.
Who wants to start?
Go affirmative.
Yeah, so, signature-based security used to be kind of cool. When protocols were really simple, the web was starting out, we had simple HTTP requests with readable, understandable parameters that you could look at and see some simple attacks. And it sort of worked a little bit, but that ship has sailed. Applications today are super complicated. It's not straight up web traffic. It's serialized objects going over WebSocket back and forth. The protocols are custom protocols per app. The data formats are custom protocols. Anybody looked at GWT traffic lately? It's ridiculous. And that's that's a simple one. Protocols are impossible to look into in perimeter protections that do signature-based detection. The signature approach just doesn't work anymore. Sorry.
Jim?
Accompanied by his favorite minstrels. Bravely bold Sir Robin, brought forth from Camelot.
Hey guys, there's this tool called Mesplit. I think you've heard of it. This tool is capable of taking any piece of malware that you throw at and changing the signature. And by nature of changing that signature, you basically render all that old antivirus crap obsolete. So when McAfee comes calling, whatever, you turn them away, you say, no, I'm not interested in that signature-based detection. I want something that's dynamic, that'll actually launch this in a virtual machine, tell me what this thing is actually doing, because that is really the only way that you're going to be able to detect whether it's malware or not. Signature-based detection is dead, it's gone the way of the dinosaurs, and even those companies know it because they're looking into other ways to make money.
Look at economics as well.
Give him the mic with 16 seconds. Just saying.
The cost to buy custom malware that will evade modern AV used to be an incredibly expensive gray market purchase. It's like a couple grand these days. So it's like just the basic economics of hiring people who can bypass AV. It's incredibly cheap because it's incredibly easy.
All right, the negative.
What's the negative?
You like signature-based detection.
Of course.
For security.
Oh, so
I gave you an easy one.
thank you.
Yeah.
Look,
Dude.
there's a language problem that I think we're having here. So a signature, right, is something that is verifiable path. Yeah, we understand that. Like my signature means that it's me. Their signature means that it's them. Now, behaviors are a signature, right? The way something responds and acts is a signature. You know that when all the physicists took a look at Skype and understood how to deconstruct Skype and decrypt it, it wasn't a conventional based attack. What they did is they took polarity of the packet size, and they were able to take that and over time be able to analyze a behavior. And by analyzing that behavior, they could tell when they said a certain word, the packet variance would be a certain way. Jitter would happen in a certain way. That is a behavior. Those behaviors were signatures that were used to decrypt that process, right? And as they applied those signature sets to it, they found those behaviors which were bad. Now, I understand that we have old versions of signatures, which is nothing more than a regex. But what we're talking about is a behavior-based approach in the new data world, in the world of big data analytics, where you're not going to be able to have these things running on your machine. You're not going to have the money to have a malware department where they look at everything individually because they're super smart. You need to be able to take the signature behavior of how these products work and be able to apply that to your enterprise so that you can continue supporting your enterprise. Right? We have to make money. We have to survive. We have to live. And the only way that we can do that is by analyzing what the common denominator is and using those specific methods to protect ourselves.
How much time we got left?
You got 40 seconds.
Okay, so an actual practical thing that actually has happened. People, you're going to say antivirus, and I think that's actually a really good example. First of all, it doesn't have to be a paid antivirus. It can be, there's free stuff out there as well. So take the cost part out of it for a second. Maybe there's a cost in CPU time or whatever, but that's the only real cost. So I've actually run into situations where I've caught my own customers uploading malware to the site from a previous install. And, you know, what am I going to do? Like access controls, that's not going to help. You know, firewall, that's not going to help, right? It was actually antivirus of all things in the world. Like you're thinking, like that's the worst possible thing out there. Yeah, well, the point is, even something as crappy as antivirus does offer some security benefit in these weird scenarios. Even the crappiest signature, the dumbest thing, if it provides even one customer without malware, it's kind of worth having.
What?
Rebuttal?
I don't think that's right. I don't think.
No, it actually did happen.
Trying to protect 1 out of 100 is not the goal, right? If you've got limited resources in security to spend.
It cost us nothing, by the way.
Hogwash.
It's free. It's actually free.
So it didn't take you any time to install or configure, deploy or monitor or anything?
No, it's all baked in, default, yeah. Package add, you're done.
Okay, right. So let's back up to your
We should talk
bigger
about
point,
DevOps
which is
sometime.
everything's a signature. Is that your argument? Like, oh, well, it's not just specific regexes, or you can go up a level. We could say, oh, it's not this pattern of events.
Are you
that's
agreeing
a signature.
with me?
What? No. Well, I'm saying,
Yeah, you don't
is
know.
that really your argument that everything is a signature? Like
Correct.
every kind of attack that's possible is a signature. So by default, then signature-based detection is perfect.
Behavior-based.
That's a signature.
You have to create a signature in order to identify the behavior.
So, you know, in the movie The Incredibles, where they say,
You have a signature
if
and you
everyone's
think,
super,
correct?
then no one is.
Oh,
That's
do
like
you
the-
have? Do you have a solution? Because we have solutions for our problems. Do you guys have one?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Behavior-based intrusion detection is a thing. It's not signature-based. The reason.
Oh no, it is.
If you
you-
find everything is a signature, then yeah, you're right. But that's ridiculous.
Wait, you don't have custom use cases that define whether the behavior is good or not? Because that custom use case is a specific signature you write.
Oh, snap.
Are signatures procedural in your head? Like, is it more than, can it be a sequence of
Yeah.
an algorithm?
It can be, sure.
So everything is a signature.
Huh. How about that? Thank you.
If you agree with that,
Signature-based security, in parentheses, AV, WAF, IDS, is dead and should be ripped, replaced. We're not talking about behavioral analysis. You're talking old school antivirus, web application firewall, IDS. You're talking about taking a series of packets on the wire, running a hash algorithm, coming back with the signature, and then running that against a list in your database of bad stuff.
Hold on.
In our case, we are looking at behavior. If we filter out behavior, then we don't have a debate. Signature-based detection is dead. Behavioral detection is where it's at.
We have 2 words for a reason: signature-based and behavioral-based.
So, do any AVs or WAFs or any of those funny things on your card do behavior based? Because I know some that do.
So we've had signature based.
So you're saying we can, Jeff, this is awesome. I didn't know AppSec was so easy. We can give up secure coding. We can give up building secure software. Let developers write the crappiest garbage out there, and almighty Nickerson and his web application firewalls and his signatures are going to solve the problem. We're done. I didn't know it was so easy.
So we've had signature-based tools for over 20 years, and you're saying we should just throw that out. So you're basically making the same argument as the anti-vaccination.
Oh, okay. Come on up, applausometer. We need
But
to
just
keep this
because
one
you've
at
never seen somebody get infected with a PC now stoned, we shouldn't check for it anymore? Well, why not?
No, I'm just grateful because I thought that software security was hard work and discipline and SDLC and like really working hard to engineer good. But now I know you just slap up a couple signatures and everything is secure.
Yeah. Bye. Losing's hard.
You and Christina Applegate have fun with that.
I killed the wrong mic. All right, sorry about that. I killed the wrong mic. Ooh, that one's loud. Slap on some signatures. Who wants to slap for this side of the room? And this side of the room. Applausometer? That was hard? Well, you think one? Then it's this side of the room. Whew. That ends our exciting, action-packed, and highly informative speed debate. I'm sure your security programs will radically change after this session at LASCON, so you can skip tomorrow and go have fun. No, don't skip tomorrow and go have fun.
By the way, the bull has arrived. So, got some fun.